Ow! Fuck!
Fuck. Good morning, Zompak. I'm Bex, and I'm in Manchester, and that was Marc, and I actually don't know what the fuck's up with him.
What the fuck do you think is wrong with me? You fucking piece of... I mean, labour, you fucking ball bucket. It's the last fucking episode of the season, and I'm in fucking labour.
All right. You know, keep your vagina on. It's probably just Braxton Hicks. I got them loads during the end of pregnancy, and they were really painful. I actually convinced myself I was in premature labour at one point. That's all it'll be. Don't worry.
Nah, Bex. This is so fucking painful. I literally can't cope. Someone's gonna have to give me some drugs. I need some fucking drugs. Where are the fucking drugs, Bex?
You just need to breathe. In and out, in and out.
I just fucking need drugs,
Let's
Bex.
be logical
Now.
Now. When did the pain start?
Now, Bex. Just now.
I'll tell you what, if you fucking shout me one more time, I'm going to come down there and rip your balls off and make you eat them. Have you got that? Right, listen, if the pains have just started, then you've got a proper long way to go. I'm not even going to lie to you, need to get to 10 centimetres. It's a long fucking process. Plus, there's an issue of pushing it out. A demon spike, I've not seen a demon. Are they spiky? I wouldn't want to be pushing a spiky demon baby out.
Bex, just shut the fuck up, will you, please? For fuck's sake, just shut your fucking mouth.
I mean, my point is, it's going to be long. It's going to get more painful. I'm not going to lie to you. So you're going to need to do some like meditation or mindfulness or some shit. I don't know. Have a warm bath, take some paracetamol. Just fucking breathe.
I don't want to fucking breathe, Bex. Thank you very much. I'm going to kill that demon pricklicker for doing this to me. A fucking piece of shit, spiky, fucking little, airy, fucking ball bag.
To be fair, that is what all expectant mothers say while they're kind of ripping a piece out of their partner. So, you going to be alright doing the interview, though?
Yes, I'll be fine. I'll man it up. Put me big boy pants on. I can do it.
You sure?
Mm-hmm.
Really, really, really sure?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Let's just get the fuck out.
Okay, so who are we interviewing this week, then?
This week, fucking... someone, I don't fucking know.
Okay, well, this week... I'll tell them then, shall I? This week we've got Suzanne Sussex, the author of the wonderful Safe Zone series.
Okay,
yeah,
let's do that.
Let's do it.
Awesome, let's do it. So we have been very lucky to have been joined by the wonderful Suzanne Sussex, author of the Safe Zone series. Hi, Suzanne. Susan, right, let me just put this out there to everybody. My wife is called Susan. Suzanne is called Suzanne. So if I get the names wrong, that's because I'm a twat. So hi, Suzanne. Welcome to GMZ.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Hi, Suzanne. I have to apologise for Marc's ineptness at interviews. Welcome to GMZ. And the first question we ask all of our guests is, how are you surviving in the zombie apocalypse?
Well, I'll be honest, badly. It's all gone a bit wrong. The tin opener's broken.
Oh no!
So, I am out of food, and I've decided that in the next few days I'm just going to go and submit to being a zombie. I just choose my forever outfit.
Sometimes it's an easier living, I think.
Yeah.
So what's your forever outfit?
Well, I haven't decided yet. That's why I've not run out into the street just yet.
Oh, okay.
It's going to have to be something that's not easily rottable, because otherwise you'll just end up all naked in a few weeks' time. So it's going to have to be something thick.
Yes, and that doesn't go out of style too quickly.
Yeah. Black's
Black's
always in style.
I would be worried that I wouldn't stand out in a crowd. I'd want something, that makes... Because when you see a group of zombies, there's always one that looks awesome. I'd want to be that one.
With all the neon.
Suzanne, thank you for coming to our podcast again. We know you from the internet. We see you around, and obviously because of your writing skills, and specifically the zombie series Safe Zone. So, can you tell our listeners a little bit about it, please?
Yeah, of course. So, Safe Zone is UK-based Zompoc. essentially, and it's about the main character is a girl called Chloe. I say girl, she's mid-30s, whose boyfriend leaves her at the beginning of the outbreak to rejoin the army because he thinks that's a sensible thing to do. And it's all about how Chloe survives and gets to the safe zones that the army are building around the country. So as well as Chloe, so she's a normal mid-30s woman. There's also Sam, who's only 19, and in the nicest possible way, he's a bit of a dick. So he loses his friends really early on, and I won't give away too many spoilers, but essentially they end up together.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
It sounds a lot like most 19-year-old men that I know and was. You know, you go out with your friends and you lose them pretty early on in the night. Yeah.
Yeah, only his don't get lost in that sort of sense.
Yeah.
But yeah. So the first book is called The Greater Good, and it's very much about the characters rather than the zombies. So the characters don't turn into like sharpshooters or like ninjas or anything. They're very, very normal people.
Yeah.
And actually a bit of a feel-good story. And hence the title. And then the second book is set 20 years after the first one. So it's 20 years after the outbreak. And it's called The Descent. And it's called The Descent because it gets a whole lot darker in the second one. And it's probably more the bad side of human nature.
Really? Oh, that sounds interesting. I guess the series is going to continue in that vein, in that path, getting darker and darker?
Actually, the series is a trilogy.
Ah, okay.
So, Serenity is the final book, which is out next week. And
cool.
I won't say whether it gets darker.
Wait and see.
Keep it a surprise.
Yeah, I'll keep it a surprise, yeah.
Sorry, Marc. God, I'm going to have to get used to it. Suzanne, the last book you said is called Serenity?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you choose that title for a particular reason without giving away too many spoilers? Are you a Firefly fan?
Do you know, I've never seen Firefly. And I was
sorry, I've just fainted.
When I saw that Serenity is associated with Firefly. I absolutely have no idea why I chose that name. It just came to me one day, and it's quite important to the book. And it's potentially quite important to the next trilogy that I'll be writing.
Oh, God, there's more.
Which isn't a zombie. Yes, I need to say ambiguous in case it all goes horribly wrong. But it's not a zombie trilogy, but it might be set around 200 years after the events of Safe Zone.
See, I like that idea. See, I'm working on something like that at the moment, but mine's going to be rubbish. So.
Because it's rubbish. Suzanne, so one of the issues I always have with zombie books, zombie literature in general, is there's always this. People try and portray positive female stereotypes, but I always find it comes out a little bit negative, especially from the gentleman writers, shall we say. They think they know what a woman should be in the zombie apocalypse.
Lucky female character.
How they get the women on board, but they never quite do. It's always a little bit over the top. With you said your main character is Chloe. Do you feel like you've addressed those stereotypical issues?
So I don't think I have intentionally, but I probably have. So Chloe is normal. She's before the outbreak, she was a personal assistant. Her mind wanders even when it probably shouldn't. So sometimes she may focus on the wrong thing. She's definitely doesn't become one of these superhero strong women.
Yeah.
She makes mistakes along the way. She has inappropriate thoughts, and it's written from Chloe's perspective. It's written in first person point of view. So Chloe is very much me in so many ways. In so many ways, she's not, but I would have died much earlier than she did. Oh my God, I'm just giving away spoilers. But yeah, I would have died on the fourth day. Chloe lasts through the book because it's about her. If anything, I've maybe gone the other way and given negative male stereotypes to an extent, and
Well, the thing is, I quite like that because I find a lot of stories say, right, okay, we need to get the women readers on board, so let's make this woman super strong and she just saves the world. And it's like, well, no, because they're going to have PMT and they're going to be worried about greasy hair and they're going to have hair in the face, and sometimes it's good to be normal, and some things aren't stereotypes, they're just human nature.
Yeah, and that's very much where I went with Chloe. And she's not this stunningly beautiful model. She's just a normal, slightly podgy.
Well, I actually saw the cover of a book the other day, and I won't say who it's by, but the cover of the book was a lady she had a shotgun in her hand, and she had the tiniest pair of shorts on I've ever seen in my life, like literally her labia was showing, and this little tiny boob tube, and I'm like, how are you meant to be fighting zombies in that outfit? It looks horrendously comfortable.
Yeah.
Obviously, it was front wedgie. It's just... But it was really funny and it made me laugh.
There is a whole section on how Chloe prepares to leave her house and with her getting dressed and going through her clothes, just thinking, and she does put on a pair of shorts and thinking she looks kind of cool, and then she looks herself in the mirror and decides she looks like a fat Lara Croft.
So you addressed the sexism issue without even realising you did it there, didn't you? Because that's one of Bex's pet hates is covers, and you kind of addressed that, and you didn't even realise you did it until Bex mentioned it, which is cool.
Yeah, and I kind of went for a very feminine cover on my book as well, because actually the genre is full of male authors, which is a great thing, and there are some amazing books out there. Yeah. But you look through Amazon and you look at the books in the genre, and not many of them are that different.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Themes, and so I really wanted mine to stand out, which is why it's a very feminine, very, very feminine cover, I think. But hopefully it doesn't put the male readers off, because it's not a feminist book by any stretch of the imagination.
I never, when I looked at your cover, I never looked at it and thought, well, that's not for me, so I wouldn't worry about that. Well, I'm quite a feminine guy though, so who knows?
Yeah.
How do you feel about the genre generally? I mean, do you watch like Walking Dead? Did you watch the films? Are you a zombie fan generally?
Yeah, so I was a zombie fan long before I became a zombie author. Mm-hmm. The Walking Dead, yes, I watch it. I will always watch it until it finishes.
Yeah.
It is slowing down a little bit too much.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Negan is the only character that I'm really invested in at the moment.
Me too. I just want to know when he's going to fall over from leaning back so far.
I want to know why he hasn't snagged all of his leather jacket with Lucille.
Oh, yes, why?
Yeah.
Why hasn't he worn one shoulder out?
Yeah, exactly. I will write to the producers and ask.
Thank you.
Yeah, and the films, I'm probably more... The Romero films, I probably got to a bit later than most people. Mm-hmm. So I think the first proper zombie film I really paid attention to was Shaun of the Dead.
Me too.
Yeah, and then 28 Days Later.
Great film.
But at the moment, my favourite by far is Train to Busan.
Mine too.
We love that.
Mine too. It was quite funny. We went to Weekend of the Dead in Manchester, where it was a Romero show, and it was all about the Romero movies. And then on the big screen, Train to Busan come on, and Bex and I got all excited, and people shunned us a little bit. They kind of they were like, "Who are you? What are you on?"
Train to Busan, heathens,
and they turned it off, didn't they? There you go.
They did.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a bit like you. I came into it a bit later with Shaun of the Dead, Day of the Dead, 28 Days Later, and stuff like that. But I think when you go back to the Romero movies, they actually have quite a lot to offer in terms of the start of the genre. I mean, I watched Dawn of the Dead the other day because my wife had never seen it, and I watched it with her. And I actually got a lot more out of it as an adult than I did as a kid.
I'll be honest, I haven't seen them for a good couple of years, but what I do remember is they kind of stood the test of time.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, and they're actually, I'm a bit of a chicken actually when it comes to watching some films. Like It scared the life out of me, but all of the Romero films scare me and give me nightmares.
Yeah, did the new, was it you talking about the new It? Did that scare you?
Oh, I didn't watch the old It because I was too scared when I was younger.
Yeah, it scared the life out of me when I was a kid, and then I was too scared to watch the new one, right? Because I'm a bit of a chicken as well. But then I watched it with my wife, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was brilliant.
Oh, it was fantastic, but yeah, it was scary.
So Suzanne, what inspired you to write, and especially kind of writing zombie genre?
So, I only started writing last year, so probably about last June, July time. And I was going through, Yeah, I've been busy. I was going for a bit of a tough time. Like work was quite hard, and at the same time, I was also reviewing books. And I was reading a book, not a zombie book, but it is by a published author that I paid £9 for on Kindle. And actually, an ebook for £5.99 is quite expensive.
Yeah, definitely. I don't pay more than £3.
Well, me neither. And I was committed to review it, and I was reading it, and I hated it. I hated it so much. And because I was just generally stressed anyway, as things just, you focus on a really small, insignificant to vent your anger.
Definitely.
And I was with my boyfriend over a meal one night about having to read this book, and he said to me, well, if you think you could do better, why don't you have a go? And I went, what would I write about? And he said, write about a guy who leaves his girlfriend behind to rejoin the army in a zombie apocalypse. Because we had that, that conversation you have, what would you do in a zombie apocalypse? We had that conversation a few years ago, and I've never forgiven him saying he will leave me. And
I don't think I'd forgive mine either.
And he still sticks with that to this day. But he will. First thing he'll do is find the nearest army barracks.
That's good. But I mean, 2 books in just over a year is pretty good going. You must have just had the story in your head, and you must just really be a natural writer.
It took quite a lot of time commitment. It's a good way of describing it. I also don't have children, so my weekends are whatever I want them to be.
Yeah, just bash out a book.
Yeah.
Bash out a book.
It's that easy
kids,
bet.
I can bash out a book.
Yeah, you could bash out 2 or 3 in a weekend, no problem at all. I mean, obviously you had the writing chops because you was doing the reviewing, so you was quite good with grammar and generally the academic side of it, I assume.
I'm not sure about the grammar. I'm not sure my editor would say about the grammar. But I my day job, I do have to write a fair lot of presentations and
You've got the gist, basically.
Yeah.
See, I've got no imagination. Like, Marc tried to get me to write a story for Treasure Chest, the book that we've just done, and I was like, I wrote a title and then I couldn't think of anything else.
Yeah, I have the opposite problem. I have lots of imagination and no skill. So it's the opposite issue. If you were lucky enough that Safe Zone became sort of hugely popular, and some people series do, and it gets turned into a big budget movie, have you ever sort of laid in bed at night and considered what would happen, like who would play what roles, how the film would work out? Have you, would you want it to be a movie, number one? Because I have this theory that sometimes if you write a book, some people don't want it to become a film despite the money because it's kind of losing ownership, as it were. But would you want it to become a movie? And if you did, who would you want to play the major roles?
So I've never thought about laying in bed, but I was invited to a book club to talk about the book, and we had that conversation.
Yeah.
And the problem is my characters aren't, stunning, so it's kind of hard to find good actors and actresses that aren't, your stereotype beautiful. So would I want it to become a film? Yes, that would be absolutely awesome. But I think you'd lose a lot of in the first book particularly, you'd lose a lot of the magic, because that's more about people, and it'd have to be very, very, very clever to be able to get that message through, whereas the other two become much more dystopian, if you like.
Yeah.
So you can probably easily convert those into the film. So in terms of characters, now I think Chloe, because obviously they need to be British.
Yeah.
Be important. I think Chloe would be Sheridan Smith would make a good Chloe.
Oh, awesome! Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
Me. And then Sam, the guy out of Kingsman, Taron.
Yeah.
Oh, Taron Egbert.
Yeah.
Egbert.
Yeah, that's what I call him, Egbert. Yeah.
Egerton.
Yeah.
Egerton. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he would make a fantastic Sam. And then I think I would then be allowed a little bit of luxury, and I'd have Chris Hemsworth as Steve.
Yeah.
And then I'd insist on being on set.
Good choice.
Just to obviously meet the man himself.
Yeah, and sometimes they need help with their costumes, don't they? They just don't get them on by themselves.
Yeah, exactly. Might need to know where Steve's motivation comes from and all that, and I'll happily have some one-on-one time with him.
Yeah, that needs to be done. I mean, it's when you're creating a sort of a movie, as it were, it's difficult when the book's in first person, isn't it? Because the inner dialogue and the inner thoughts, how do you put them on the screen? I know sometimes you read a book and then you watch the movie and you think, well, that doesn't really compare because you haven't got that inner dialogue going on. Would that be an issue for you, especially with the first book?
So it would in places. The book, just to make the whole writing process harder, I actually had different points of view. Oh. So Sam is actually told in third person point of view.
Yeah.
Steve is told through letters.
Oh my God, that's so hard. What's the matter?
Yeah.
With
Wow.
I just thought it just felt natural, and I didn't realise actually that is probably not the way you should start your first book.
No.
But it worked, and it was very important to write Stephen through letters because I've never been in the military.
Yeah.
So how can I really realistically describe what it's like? Whereas if he's sending letters that will never get sent, to be fair, but if he sends letters to Chloe, then he can explain it in layman's terms, if you like. So I think that would be Sam and Steve would be relatively easy to portray.
Yeah.
Chloe would be the difficult one.
Yeah. It's a fascinating setup. I once discussed doing a book very much like what you were saying there, where we had first person, third person, and it would flip between the two with the different characters. And do you know what? I didn't get very far because the development was a nightmare. So well played to you. Kudos to you for getting through.
Well done.
Yeah.
So you said the Safe Zone, the last one in the trilogy is out next week, and you've got other books that you're working on. But where can we find out more about you? So have you got websites, social media, anything like that you want to plug?
Oh, I have everything. So Twitter, Suzanne Sussex. I happen to be the only Suzanne Sussex on social media, which is quite...
Wow.
I've also got a website, which is www.suzannesussex.com, and on Facebook as Suzanne Sussex. I'm very easy to find.
You are.
You really are. I googled you.
We found you, and we're daft.
In my research for the podcast, I do a quick Google and do a Google image search. Never Google image search your own name. That's all I can tell you, Suzanne.
If I got some sort of like slutty Essex girl thing going on.
You know what? You Google whenever I Google search the guest's name, I always like to scroll down a few pages and see what's towards the bottom, and there's always some crazy pictures. I do it to myself as well, just to entertain myself at times. And yeah, it's crazy. Suzanne, I am finally towards the end of the interview going to say your name correct. So thank you very much for coming onto our podcast. It has been our pleasure and our honour to have you on. Next year, when we're doing season 3, hopefully we'll get you back and we'll talk about that last book, because at the moment it's all hush hush. But obviously next year, hopefully we'll get you back and we'll speak to you again.
Yes, excellent. Thank you ever so much for having me.
Thanks for coming on.
Our pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Me too. Well, that was a really good... Ow! Fuck! That was a really good thingy. Good interview.
Are the pains getting a little bit worse?
Yes, mate. And they get a little bit closer to... What do you call it? Closer
together?
Closer together. That's it. Closer together.
Ooh, this is it. Demon baby saviour's on the way.
Oh, fuck. I just called Alan. I just said, Alan! 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 I said, Alan, how long are these demon labour pains supposed to last? And do you know what he said?
What?
A week, Bex. They can
A
last
week?
A week. 1 week, Bex, of this
excruciating
fucking pain that is killing me. A week.
Well, you know, I love you to death, mate, but I ain't hanging around on Skype that long. Just give me a bell when you drop the sprog. But do you know what? I can't fucking believe we're going to have to wait till next season to see if this kid's going to save mankind. If it's going to be a fucking week. I thought you were going to pop it out tonight.
Oh, Bex, I can't. I know you want to find out, but honestly, I can't. Oh! Ooh. Honestly, I can't be asked to do. I don't even want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to people. I don't want to talk to the demons. I don't want to deal with this anymore.
Yeah, I know how you feel. So that is it for GMZ Series 2. Oh my god. Season 2 is in the bag. So join us in the new year. We're coming back with a new episode in January to see how the zombie apocalypse plays out, because I, for one, cannot fucking wait.
Until then, if you're getting withdrawals, then you can always head over to our Facebook group where we have discussions. Not me, because I'm fucking doing this. But we have discussions and play games and give shit away. Free shit. I'm getting emotional about it. It's fun. You should try it.
And, you know, if you fancy reading something while you're waiting for us to get off our asses and for Marc to drop a demon sprog, then get on Amazon, get our charity anthology, 22 stories from the greatest minds in zombie horror. Treasure Chest is what it's called. All the money goes to Breast Cancer Care UK. It's amazing.
So, that's it then, Bex. So,
yeah, that's it.
If you've enjoyed this season, don't forget to give us a 5-star review on iTunes. And for the next few months, remember to stay safe.
And remember to kick ass.
Bye-bye.
Bye.